Hello everyone, it's me, Root Beer. I have my webcam on, and I've got an OTT t-shirt on. I am continuing my quest to make Bushiroad acknowledge this channel so that I can reveal the next mediocre OTT stride. And to that end, we are doing a Battle Sister deck profile. So, Battle Sisters just got new support in the most recent V collection, and it's pretty interesting. I've kind of been going back and forth on whether or not I actually like it, but let's get into the actual deck profile for that discussion. So, of course, we have our starter. We have 16 triggers, so we're running 12 crits. We're running crit sentinels instead of draw sentinels for the PGs because, this is a Protect clan. We can already get PGs through our gifts. And OTT's whole thing is trying to crit the opponent to death, so I think trying to run less than 12 probably isn't ideal. If you really wanted to do it, I would probably go for a 2-2 split of 2 draw PGs and 2 crit sentinels. After that, we have 4 copies of each fromage, so like I said earlier, I have been going back and forth on whether or not I actually like fromage reverse, so when I first saw the card, I was extremely underwhelmed. I thought she didn't really offer a whole lot over regular fromage and didn't really advance the deck. And then I thought about it more and I realized that, well, the power that she gives scales with each card that you lock, and you can lock as many as you want as long as they have the Battle Sister name. So what you can do is you can lock 3 of your cards in an L shape, so you lock 1 full column and the circle behind your Vanguard column, and then the 1 remaining column that's unlocked will have a ton of power stacked onto it, 30,000 if you have 2 units. And then if you combine that with Battle Sister Trifle, who can get 5,000 power, and Soul Blast a grade 3 to get a Sentinel Restrict, then you could potentially OTK your opponent. I mathed it out, and if you have an ideal board setup where your column is Trifle and Casada, and then you also resolve the ability of Panettone, and, you have 2 criticals stacked on top of your deck, then you can get upwards of, 90,000 power, so it's very unlikely that your opponent will be able to guard that without any Sentinels, though it is still possible that your opponent just drops 5 triggers. I actually did it in BRO against a Loronero player in Standard. And so, that is of course the weakness of that strategy, is if it doesn't work, you just put all of your eggs in one basket, and you've lost your only chance at really hitting your opponent. So, the downsides of Fromage Reverse is because you have to lock things, I think your overall board presence ends up being worse than if you use regular fromage. I kind of started doing the math of what the numbers would end up looking like and how much guard value would be needed, and I think it ends up being relatively equal between the 2 fromages. However, the way it's distributed is different, so no matter how you're locking things, if you stack all of it in 1 column like I just described, or even if you're just locking 2, so you still have your full front row and 1 full column and 1 that's just the front row and the back row is locked, then you end up getting about the same necessary shield value as regular fromage, who can only give 5,000, but it's to all units and you have boosters involved. But with Fromage Reverse, more of the power is going to be stacked on the free column versus regular Fromage. You have less power given overall, but then it's distributed more evenly. They kind of end up at around a similar ceiling. It's just a matter of how that power is distributed. So, because Trifle is so powerful, and it's the only one with any form of guard restrict, so it's kind of your main win condition, I think Fromage Reverse does benefit that strategy, and also, a thing that you can do, especially because the recent V collection introduced a lot of cards that have limit break, is if you're using the L-lock strategy and stacking all your power on 1 column, you can intentionally low damage your opponent, leave them at around 3 to deny them the limit break, and also just in general cut off their counter blasts, and then just try to OTK them from there. But again, like I said earlier, you're putting all your eggs in one basket if you're doing that. Otherwise, if you're trying to go for a more traditional game plan where you get them to like 4 or 5 and then you just try to make your whole board as big as possible to force something through, I think regular Fromage is still better for that, which is why I run both. And also, regular Fromage has her auto ability that works on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle that just lets you Counterblast, Soul Blast to draw 2. So, Pot of Greed on legs, we take that. Another card that was introduced in the most recent V collection is Battle Sister Mocha. So, when you ride on top of it, you can Soul Blast 1, look at top 2, add 1 to hand, put the other one or top or bottom. Unfortunately, this is one of the cards that suffered a misprint. So, the text is wrong right now and just says bottom. And then she has a continuous effect where, on Rearguard or Guard Circle, if you have 3 or more units with Battle Sister and their different names, it gets power plus 5,000, shield plus 5,000, and if you have 4 or more in your hand, it gets another 5,000, so just a big 19k beater. But also being a 10k shield offers it a little bit of extra utility, and obviously the on-ride ability is pretty strong, being able to kind of stack your deck early and also just going +1. This has been officially errated, so it is supposed to be top or bottom, but they haven't actually released the corrected set card versions yet, I don't think. After that, we have Battle Sister Shuket, so another grade 2. When placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, you look at your top 5, choose a grade 3 from among them, reveal it, put it to the top of your deck, and then shuffle the rest of the cards to the bottom of your deck, and she gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. So the main reason I'm playing this is because Trifle needs to Soul Blast a grade 3, which means it's pretty important that you try to find a second grade 3 to ride as soon as possible. So my logic was you activate Shuket, stack it on top, and then you just find another way to add it. Either like if you wanted to call Fromage to your Rearguard Circle, you could like draw 2, although I guess if you had the Fromage in your hand already, you might want to like keep it instead. Another card that can immediately add the grade 3 that you searched is Battle Sister Torihas, so on play, on Vanguard or Rearguard, you can just look at your top card, or reveal the top card, and if it's a Battle Sister, you can put it in your hand, and it's a hard once per turn. Another thing that Shuket can do is that you can search out the heal guards, because they are, of course, grade 3s, and then you have that trigger on top of your deck, so you can either get it as a heal trigger, or if you end up adding it to your hand one way or another, then you still just have the guard value of it. Also, I think I didn't talk about this when I started talking about the triggers, but I'm going with 3 heal guards and 1 regular heal, so as powerful as the heal guards are early game, they are 15k shield, so you lose out a little bit on that shield value. So I saw some topping deck lists doing this, where they run 1 or 2 copies of regular heals for the extra 5,000, so I think a 3-1 ratio generally works. You'll probably be able to find the Heal Guardian most of the time, especially with how much stacking the deck has available. So having the extra 5,000 here could come in handy for later in the game. As far as other options that synergize with Shuket go, there is obviously Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu. Unfortunately, though, because Fromage Reverse can only lock Battle Sister cards, Amaterasu is kind of a dead card if you don't manage to reveal it off Shuket. You can also try to reveal it off of Torihas, but then that only looks at 1 card, so it's kind of inconsistent whether or not you can actually reveal the Amaterasu when you need it. If you were going to do that, I would probably cut out Battle Sister Coco, who we'll get to in a second, but yeah, unfortunately, I think Fromage Reverse ends up being more xenophobic than Battle Sisters already were. I think if you were only playing regular Fromage, you could fit in Amaterasu. Like, I think Shuket and Torihas give you a decent enough number of ways to be able to reveal it, and drawing it isn't completely dead. You can still call it as a body, even if it doesn't really get any power off of it. Where with Fromage Reverse, if you can't lock Amaterasu, then you're just really weakening yourself by having it, so I think it's not worth it in a reverse build. Anyways, Battle Sister Coco, the third card that was introduced newly in the V collection, so When you ride on top of it, you can call it to rearguard circle, and then it has an act ability. You can rest her, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom. If you put it on the bottom, give something 3,000 power. So, I like the card's first ability. You know, having a good Vanguard ride is always useful, especially with, you know, how these other cards are going to function when we get there. It's good to have something that you can ride, and then it converts itself into value after that. Potential replacements for it is Tetramagus, although that runs into the same problem as Amaterasu, where it's not a Battle Sister name, so it's not a complete brick, because you can still put a critical trigger on top of your deck, and that does help if you end up drawing all of your crits early, but it's a lot more awkward with Fromage Reverse, where you have to call the Tetramagus, you can't lock it, so you either have to, like, call over it, or just kind of leave it sitting there, taking up space. If you're going for your kill turn, I guess it doesn't really matter how much advantage you lose by constantly calling over these cards after using the Fromage ability. But, you know, if you're still on your first turn and you're trying to do all that, it can be a little bit awkward. So, I'm not a huge fan of, like, non-Battle Sister cards with Fromage Reverse. I think those cards have their place. They would probably just have to go in a deck that's only running regular Fromage. And then we have Battle Sister Torihas. We already kind of talked about her, but on play, you know, reveal the top card, add it if it's a Battle Sister, put it back if it's not, and then if you looked at your deck by a card ability, so like revealing, searching, or looking, then it gets 5,000 power. So it's a decent sized booster. We have Battle Sister Casada, who is another grade 1. When your drive check reveals a trigger, which you've probably stacked on top of the deck, then it gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So just big beater. Helps to synergize with the Trifle Reverse strat, where you're just stacking all of your power on one column. And then Battle Sister Panettone, you can put it into your soul, look at the top 2. Put one on top, put one on the bottom, and increase the next trigger effect by 10,000. So, like Coco, this is a way for you to, like, dig into your deck either before you start stacking with Fromage or afterwards if your stack was bad. Unlike Coco, it does put itself into Soul, so you don't feel like you're minusing as much if you, like, call another thing afterwards. And also, the deck does run through Soul a decent amount, because Coco calls herself out, Shuket is a Soul Blast, Coco is a Soul Blast for her on-ride ability, so Panettone being able to go into the Soul and kind of replenishing a bit. Oh yeah, and also regular Fromage has the Soul Blast. You do run through your Soul pretty quickly, so Panettone is useful for replenishing, and like I explained earlier with the L locking strat, it increases your next trigger check, so you can really, like, stack up all the power as much as you possibly can onto Trifle to try and win. So, unfortunately, I feel like the deck hasn't advanced too much since the last time Battle Sister got support. Like I said, Fromage Reverse is kind of a side grade. It offers some advancements in being a better early game card and being able to stack all of your power on one column, so, you know, low damage strategies are better, but I think overall she probably just needed to do more, either giving you another attack in some way, having a guard restrict on her own, or just giving more power off of the locking ability. So if it was 10,000 instead of 5, I think this card would actually be really, really strong. It would make the L locking strat a lot more effective, where you can break 100,000 and it's very unlikely your opponent guards it. Even the more powerful meta decks that have tons of card advantage might not be able to deal with that, and would offer you a tangible upgrade over Fromage, which, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to straight power creep it, I can see that, but ultimately I think the weakness of this deck is still just the fact that it's too slow. Your main win condition is contingent on you having a grade 3 in your soul to get the Sentinel Restrict, otherwise, yeah, you get big numbers and criticals, but the bane of every 3-attack deck is your opponent going PG, right? So, I do like the deck, you know, I think it's fun. I enjoy Fromage Reverse, I really like the art on her, just, I think it's still just a little bit too slow. One thing I am considering is that Trifle does not need a Battle Sister Vanguard for her Sentinel restrictability, so maybe experimenting with some Battle Sister hybrids to see if I can fit it into another deck with better win conditions. I guess we'll see. That's going to be it for the deck profile. However, in addition to this, we also recorded some games over the weekend with Atlas, so I want to add a fight video to this where you can kind of see this deck in action and kind of see some of the concepts that I was talking about in this video, so stay tuned for that, because I'm just going to make this all one big long video. Anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. If you like the video, like it, leave a comment. Thank you to our $10 patrons, Darren, Cole, Josh, and Jeremy. If you want to support the channel, $5 gets you a whole ass bonus show, $10 gives you early access to videos, and a shout out like I did just now. We also have a merch store, link in the description, and we also have a promo code at night with 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code for 5% off of your order. Thank you for watching, everybody. Stick around for the fight video.
Minutes. Welcome everyone to OTT's redemption arc. That's what you called it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I lost when I played offline, although I have not changed the deck list at all, so I'll probably just still lose because I'm going second.
Neither have I, so we'll see. Going first with Tachi's. Draw. Ride Prison Bird. Draw. Bird's effects. Top 5. Let's get that. Gigano Blizzard. And I will discard a card, and that's it. You can start if you want.
Okay. Draw. Oh my god.
Discard.
Ride. Draw. Grab my... Screw it, let's just call the Coco. 8.
No guard. Damage check. Out of in.
Okay. 8.
1 to pass.
Heal trigger, power.
Damage. Spino Extort.
Alright, your turn.
Draw. Ride Dilomorpho effects, Counterblast. Draw a card, call a card. And I can give it a gauge, which I will.
Okay.
How's this looking? Not too bad. Call Megarex. 9 with Regio done.
I'll click shield.
Okay. Swinging with Megarex, eating Regiodon, drawing, calling the gauge back here, and giving it a gauge. 9 to van.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
Nothing.
17.
I'll take that.
Drop check, draw trigger, out of game.
Damage check, heal trigger. No heal.
Go ahead.
Stand and draw. Okay. I think I call this. Move this back. Call Trifle.
Okay.
Counterblast 1. Look at my top 3 for a Battle Sister. Call up to one with the Battle Sister. Put the rest on top.
Okay.
Put Torhas. I will reveal the top card. It is Ginger. I will not add it to my hand.
Smart.
I'm just gonna go for it. I still have enough cards for this to just be 19k. 9.
9. Well, I know what it's gonna be, so 24.
Okay. Give me. So yeah, it's a crit. Give me a sec. I actually have to count the power of my card because they all gain power.
Right.
So this column gets a 1,000. I have 4 more cards in my hand. I have both conditions for this, so that's also at plus 10. So these columns are both the same amount of power. I'll just put it on Trifle.
Thanks,
Why
I hate
not?
everything.
So this column's at plus 2k now. So that's 27.
27 with a crit, or just the...
This one is the regular one. This one's going to be 37 with a crit.
I'll take that one. Savage Shooter.
37 with a crit.
Right, here's So heal guardian plus 10, so that's 34, and then draw trigger for 39.
Okay. That's turn.
Stands.
I don't know why you didn't just do the crit -2 there and save a card.
Piano Blazer, I'm just leaning into the fact that I guess coffee didn't work or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sell. Okay. Sell 1. Piano Blazer's effect, Counterblast, Soul Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Draw 2. Call 2, and then I can put gauges on them if I wish to. I'll call Gaia, Emperor, and Spino Extort. I'll put a gauge on Gaia.
Okay.
So that's 1. All right. I'll swing with Gaia for what?
No, I'm just noticing that Coco is on both, or Mocha is on both turns.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
12 to Van.
12 to Van. Yeah, I'll take that. It's a crit. Power my
right.
Vanguard.
19 with Spino Extort effects, Counterblast.
Mm-hmm.
Kill this, draw, and then call its gauge, which is Mercenary, and put a gauge on it. So 19.
I'll heal guard plus 10 to my Vanguard.
So you're 29 right now?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to swing with Mega Rex, eat the Blue Sprint,
Mm-hmm.
draw. Blue Sprint calls the gauge that was under it, and then put a gauge on that. That's 3. So now it's the plus 5 to the front row. So still a whiff, but setting that up.
Yep.
Here's 17 with Gigano Blazer.
No guard. So it's 2 to pass.
Yep. Another Gigano Blazer and a heal trigger. You're at 3. I'm at 3, right?
Yep.
All right. Heal 1. Heal the Savage Shooter, I guess. And Power to Mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mercenary is now 42.
Okay. Are you getting any more attacks or?
No, this is it.
Okay, 42. I will take this one.
Go ahead.
Stand and draw.
Okay.
Ride. Get a protect marker. And then I will counterblast Soul Blast. Since I have a Battle Sister Vanguard, I can draw 2.
Okay.
Okay. Those are like okay draws. Thinking. So it's discard a card, look at the same number top deck as units of Battle Sister, they're different names. So yeah. Discard this, look at my top 5.
Okay.
3, 4, 5. I think this is the order that I want them to be in. Okay, and you're at grade 3, so all of my Battle Sister units just have plus 5k.
Awesome.
All right. So this is 17.
Even if you double click, it doesn't have an extra crit on its own, right?
No.
Yeah, I'll take it. Go for it.
All right. Yeah, so crit, power here, crit, power here.
First, crit power to Van. Second, Mega Rex. Third, Prison Bird.
Okay. So, let's see. Mocha is at plus 15, plus, that's 24, plus 13, so this is 47.
I'm 22. You said 42?
47, I believe.
47. Okay.
Yeah, because I put triggers on both of them, so
yeah.
This gets like plus 10. This gets plus 10k on its own, plus 5 from plus 24, plus 13, that's 37, plus the trigger is 47. Yep.
Okay.
47.
So guarding with an original heal. This is 32.
42.
42. Sorry. And then let's see, do I want to intercept? Guard with Polkenspine.
Okay.
52.
Okay. Sorry, I have to like keep mathing these.
It's okay.
So yeah, so that's 20. This is 17. That's 27 plus 10 from the fromage. That's 37. This one is also 47.
47. I will guard with a Sentinel crit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Stand. Drop. Oh, that's pretty funny. That's that way. Do I not want to do it that way? What is this? Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay. I'll ride Gaia Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Get another crit. Okay. So since we're both at grade 3,
Mm-hmm.
Everybody with equipped gauge gets plus 10k.
Okay.
So that's got 10k. This has 10k, but it doesn't matter. Let's call Iguana Gourd, and I'm going to leave it at that because attacking with Spino Extort,
Mm-hmm.
Counterblast,
Yep.
kill the heal trigger in the back, call its
Mhm.
gauge, which is another Spino Extort, and I got to put a gauge on that. So this is 19. And then this Spino
Okay,
Extort is-
and how much are your other columns going to be?
Okay, this is 29. This
Mhm.
is 37. This is 17, unless I do a thing, which I may or may not.
Okay, so it's probably most practical for me to just guard these now.
What's this like? No, that's nothing.
I guarded the attack.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking still.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, cut this out in the editing. Attacking with Megarex, I'll eat the rested Spino Extort, get a
Mhm.
draw, Megarex's ability, Counterblast,
Mm-hmm.
gauge on himself. He gets 5k from his own ability, and then because of Gaia Emperor, it's another 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 15 total. This is 32. Yes.
And I'll take this one. It's a crit, power to my Vanguard.
Okay. All right. Attacking with Gaia Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor's effects, Counterblast, and eat the Iguana Gorge. So because we're both at grade 3, plus 8k and a crit, this is 20 flat with a crit.
PG that. This.
Okay. First check, ratio done. Second check, draw trigger. Draw, power to the Spino Extort.
Mm-hmm.
39. This is 37 with Mercenary. Okay, and then 39 with Spino Extort.
Crit Sentinel.
Go ahead.
Right.
This is only during my turn. Yes, it is. That sucks. I wish that was all the time. But oh well.
Stand and draw.
Okay.
Which I knew was going to be that. Okay. So I think first order of business is I'm going to rest Coco. Look at my top card. I knew what that was.
Knew what that was, as in like, oh man, I knew it, or like I knew what that was.
I knew what that was because I still had my stack from Fromage.
That's right. Okay.
I'm going to draw 2. Then I'm just going to pitch the gift marker and counterblast 1, pitch the gift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's not quite what I wanted it to be. That's right, I can draw cards off of Fromage too. So if I'm going to lock 3, then I want to go with this. And then probably these two to the bottom. Okay. And how many cards are in your hand?
I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards in hand. 5 damage.
Lock 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to retire this, or I'm going to call over that. I'm going to put this into my soul, look at my top 2, put one on top, one on the bottom, and the next trigger increases by by an extra 10,000.
Okay.
So this goes to the bottom. This goes back on top.
Okay.
I'm going to call this. Okay. And all of my units have plus 15k because I have because 5k for each lock card.
Got it.
27.
So 27, when you say next trigger, just the first one, right?
Yes, just the first one.
All right, so the first trigger is 20k. So that would be 57, and then with another one, it'd be 67.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll PG this
Okay. So heal trigger, all effects here. Heal whatever. Second check, Fromage.
Okay.
And then this gets 10k because I checked the trigger.
Okay.
And this gets 5 on its own because I looked at my deck.
And then 15 because of the lock cards, right? Or is that just
Yeah, all units get all my Battle Sisters get 15. So that's plus 30 to this particular column.
Oh god, this is like a truck. Good lord.
And then another 20 because of my what's it called? Because of the trigger.
Right.
So I need to like math a lot here.
I don't know. Go ahead.
So this column by default is 32. Or yeah, with all their natural power gains, like 32 plus 50. So this is going to be 82. Soul Blast at grade 3. You can't call Sentinels.
Well, it's a good thing that I can't because I don't. 42, 57, 67. Not even freaking close. Dead. Yeah. No, I had no PGs left. So I was like, might as well use it on the van since like if I do 1 to pass or whatever, it's dead. And then I had like these in hand, which didn't help. But
yeah.
Man,
I was so hoping you would hard guard the Vanguard, thinking to save the Sentinel for your rear guard.
No, just most of the time. That's usually what dooms people is they'll go, okay, well the Vanguard's usually the thing you want to PG if you can, and then people will start having Sentinel block or no zeros, whatever.
Yep.
On their rear guards, and then it just kills you that way. So, yeah, let's see, 54.
All
30,
right,
I'll say.
What? Yeah. Well, I'm just glad I got to do all of the things that this deck wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because this strat is like the one thing that Fromage Reverse has going for it over regular Fromage is the ability to just funnel all of my power into one column.
Right.
So, for situations like that where you still had a ton of cards in your hand and I needed to push something through, like I could have gone for the regular Fromage, give 5k to everything, gave my other columns more pressure, or I could like funnel it all down this column and make it really, really big with the Sentinel restrict.
Okay.